Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to The Future is Female. Are you okay? A conversation about mental health. My name is Mistress K, and today I am joined by the very funny, talented Carissa Gomez. So, a little bit about this wonderful lady. She's performed all over California in some of the most fabulous clubs. Flapper, she's going to do stint in the Comedy Store. She's worked at the Comedy Chateau, the Haha, the Laugh Factory. She's a very funny lady, very wonderful. And I'm so excited that she's here to share her experience. So without further ado, I'll give it up to Carissa Gomez.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mistress K. It is always a pleasure to work with you. I just feel like this time we are talking something more about comedy. We are talking about mental health, which is the reason why a lot of people go toward to comedy. They go see someone that's funny and they think, oh, I'm going to make myself laugh for a few hours. I'll distract myself from the problems I have at home. I just think it's funny when I go up on stage and then I talk about mental health, and then it's like, oh, what a drag. Some people might think that, but I get a lot of different responses. The thing though is that we don't realize that um, when we're going through our mental health issues, that it's necessarily something that we should talk about. And this is why we're doing this, is because we want to make a space for everyone to feel comfortable about sharing, so that it's no longer an uncomfortable situation for anyone. And the first thing to doing that is just to open up and share. And I mean, we're going to be doing that later on, but right now I'm going to share about my journey towards living with my mental illness, and opening up about it, and the reason why I do it on stage. So when I was 16, I wasn't diagnosed with a mental illness, but I noticed when I, when you're growing up and you're going through puberty, that's when my mind started making a shift in the way I thought. When other people my age were hitting like certain milestones and things like that, I was kind of in this frame of mind where I didn't feel comfortable about going through what it was like. I didn't feel comfortable about being around people, especially when it's a time when kids, they have friends and they want to talk about, sex, or they want to talk about growing up. I didn't have that urgency to do that. Like, that wasn't where I was mentally. And I knew there was something different about the way I was progressing versus the way my peers were progressing. And I didn't realize that it was something serious until I got older, and when I was able to get help for it. um, and then I got into a relationship, and then that kind of just escalated everything. It pushed everything forward because the relationship was abusive, so that was stress. So my mental illness was essentially triggered by intense stress. And what I ordinarily would had thought was depression kind of turned into schizophrenia. So it started out as a depressive episode or anxiety, and then it just got more intense. And I was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was 19. I was 19 years old, about to become 20. And it was really weird in the way they did it. Like, it was because I kept going in and out of hospitals, and I still didn't feel like uh, I just there was just this thin veneer between me and reality and the way I saw things. And for some reason, I didn't know how to interact with the world anymore. you know. And what made it difficult was that everyone around me saw me going through it and they couldn't do anything about it. You know, I basically had to navigate through this kind of blindly almost. Um, I think the only thing that kept me from feeling like I've lost control was the fact that I kept going and seeing my therapist. I kept the appointments. I kept doing it, you know, even though, you know, I know I had bad coping mechanisms, you know, like drinking alcohol and just still, you know, being around unhealthy and toxic people. And that all came to a head maybe like 10 years ago, when I graduated from school, from the university. um, I realized that I had to get myself to a stable frame of mind, and that was on top of the 7 years of therapy that I had already been getting, which where I was going in and out of hospitals and they were switching me on and off of medications. It took a long time for them to find a cocktail that worked. And then a few years ago, when I first started comedy, I was still on medication, but then I got physically ill. And that's what prompted me to get off of the medication because it interacted with the blood thinner. So now I had to make the choice between whether I lose my leg or I lose my mind again. You know, because that was I got a blood clot in my leg and my lung. So I had to choose. And I was like, well, losing your mind isn't as bad as losing the ability to walk. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go forward. I'm gonna do this. And it wasn't easy because a lot of people were saying it's hard for people with schizophrenia to get stable. It's hard for them to stay in a place where they, you know, and it's a constant battle every day. Um, but that's what prompted me to uh, go up and talk about this in a humorous way. Um,
And
was
you
because
and you are a champion.
yeah,
You are a champion for that.
yeah.
So